Right, everything is live. Now then, everybody, it's Dan from Home Physique, and I am going to do this talking box on the bike. It's probably going to die because really out of shape. Get this fucker cranked up, and we'll rattle through the questions. For me, that's hard. No, I ain't going to do that. Yeah, set that down. Right. Let's find out where these questions are. Oh shit, don't want to watch that. Right. Let's get these questions together. Bear with me. Oh. Right. Oh, right then. Let's do this. Let's fucking do this. Maybe. Okay. First question from Doreen Derido, fresh cut bra. Are you using much touch and go with your benching? And if so, how do you program it versus pause benching? Cheers, boss. Well, I like to use touch and go benching simply because I feel that it builds a lot of confidence and you just get used to actually pressing the weight. You know, it's good to do paused, obviously, because pause benching is sort of like you're going to be building up your power off the chest and your speed. But the thing with pause benching is it tends to be a lot harder. So you end up using that same type of weight and not getting as many reps. So you can find that you don't feel, well, for me, maybe I don't feel as confident, you know. But if I start doing touch and go reps, you know, and actually getting some good speed going and throwing the weight around, it makes me feel a lot better about where my bench is. So when I do come to like factor in a bit of pausing, I already know that I can bench this weight for say 5 or 6 reps, you know. So a couple of pause reps is going to be nothing, you know. It's like a big confidence builder. So generally, I also, as well, because I've got manky shoulders, I find that doing touch and go is less strain on my shoulder. So I'll do that, and then I'll just factor in a little bit of pause benching, and that tends to like, excuse me, that just keeps the shoulder happy, you know what I mean? Keeps it less rapey. So yeah, generally I just, like I say, factor it in. Every few weeks I'll do a bit of pausing. If I'm going to work up to a new PR, I'll try to get it touch and go first, just for confidence, and then I'll work towards pausing it. So it's just how I do it. Yeah. Kai Jam 80. What are the finest cigar and ale you've tried? What's going on here? I've got a bad stream again. Do you know? It's just a nightmare trying to do this. Sack that off. Put that. And turn that down to that. See how that goes. That's all we can do. Finest cigar would be the Opus X Perfection number 5. I've also had the Petite Lancereux. I've got some Grand Chateau ones that I'm saving for my wedding. They're like a couple of big fuck off ones, you know. That I think they're a Churchill size, to be honest. Them ones, or is it a double Corona? I can't remember. But anyway, they are really, really nice cigars. Them really loads of spice, good cinnamon flavors, pepper. You know, it's great coffee taste. Really, really nice cigars. And they've got like a really good smooth draw on them. Make an absolute ton of smoke, and just really easy to enjoy. Finest ale I've ever tried. I've tried a lot of beer and ales and whatnot over the time. I'm on that Untapped on there, and I'd have to say I've been really enjoying this new one that I've tried from Beavertown Brewery. It's called Blood Orange IPA. It's like really, really dank, really fruity, bitter, really nice. Got a lot of hoppiness going on. Really gets the back of your nose. Loads of pine and that. Really, I'm enjoying that in respect to IPA. Love Stone's beers. Stone's Ruination is amazing. Although I do find that there's some out there now that I prefer to that. I like IPAs that are based on citra hops, because citra is just really tasty. A lot of Flying Dog stuff, that's amazing. Yeah, there's too many to name, to be honest. Stout wise, Left Hand Brewing Company, Nitro Milk Stout. Jesus Christ, it's amazing. It's like really smooth, really like really easy to drink. Feels really good in the mouth. Brilliant. What else we got? Crack this up. Tom Shufflebottom Fitness asked, aware as to why you have a van. I'm not aware. I work as a mobile service engineer, so I've got a van with tools in it that obviously I use when I go to sites. That's pretty much it, really. The last van I had was a Caddy, and it had really nice acoustics. It used to be really quiet. This new one is a Ford. It's a new Ford Transit, and it's quite noisy, to be honest. It's nice inside though. It's like it's almost like the inside of a Focus. What else we got here? Oh, that's gonna be one. Just goof out. Most useless. Naxis 5000 always puts in some good questions. Most useless bit of kit you have bought. I would go and get it, but it means getting off the bike. And it's the Rumble Roller Beastie ball. In fact, fuck it, I'm gonna go and get it. Just an excuse to have a rest. Oh, and go back. Yeah, so it's this thing here. It's absolutely terrible. It's if you look at it, it's got all these little spikes on it, but to be honest, they're all spaced out too much that you really can't get it to go where you want it to be. And it's that hard that the small surface area just puts far too much pressure on your muscles that you're trying to do, and you end up hurting yourself more and getting bruises, which is just counterproductive to why you're doing it in the first place. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's not that good. I've used it once and then fucked it off. What are the main things that the average gym rat is doing wrong? stopping them getting some down-home physique gains. Maybe they're not drinking enough beer. No, I think what the main thing that average gym rats do is what everybody does. I did it myself when you first start out, and that'll be training without a purpose, you know, not actually having a specific goal and not understanding how to get there. You know, it's like winging it basically. People will go to the gym and they'll do like a body part split, you know, so chest day, arms day, back day, legs day, shoulders, you know, shit like that. And it's like they'd have a lot better progress if they concentrated more on full body compounds and then threw in like an assistance there with the body part split, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, back when I was focused on bodybuilding, I used to do loads of, well, you can see from my old videos, I used to do lots and lots and lots of volume, lots of sets, lots of different exercises, and I looked a lot better then than I do now, but I'm a lot stronger now. A lot of it comes down to diet as well, obviously. I'm overeating. I never used to drink back when I was really into the bodybuilding. But to be honest, just by doing that extra workload in the gym, you're going to be burning a shit ton of calories as well. And that's going to help you look lean, keep you lean, as long as you're not overeating, obviously. But like I say, I think that's the main thing, is not actually having a plan to get it done and approaching it wrong. Being inconsistent, being patient. Saturday night out or a quality Sunday lunch. To be honest, I actually prefer going out with the missus for like a afternoon drinking session, like to get into town about 3 o'clock, something like that. Just supping. It's a little bit quieter, you know, not many people out. It's you know, it's just chilled. You can have a talk and relax, get the beers in, and by the time it comes on to about 6 or 7 o'clock, when everybody else starts coming out, you're fucking battered, and it's great. You're just really chilled, really relaxed, pissed up, and it's good. You don't have to like think about, oh God, we're just going out, it's going to be rammed, and not going to get to the bar, you know, shit like that, because you're already plastered, so it don't matter. So that's why I prefer doing Sunday lunch. You know, I'd rather go out on the piss, to be honest. I'd rather go out for an afternoon boozing session than a fucking quality Sunday lunch, because that's just me. What else did you ask? I know you asked something about having who could play Rambo instead of Sly Stallone. And you said about Dustin Hoffman. That'd be class. And yeah, like what you were saying, if he was doing it, it'd be more about like tactical. But at the same time, Rambo himself in the film, he is like master tactician. You know, he does all that sneaky trapping and shit like that. So it all depends on who was cast at the time. I mean, you could have casted anybody, and they would have become Rambo. You know, you would look at them and think, "Ah, fuck me, that's Rambo." You know. Could have been anybody. It's only because that's what it is. So, who do I think could play him now? Well, they probably, I reckon they'd have Ed Hardy or something like that playing him, to be honest. I reckon he'd be good. He could, instead of it being an American soldier, be a British ex-SAS guy, something like that. He's got that rugged thing going on, hasn't he? So I think he'd probably be a good casting for it. Not Ed Hardy, Tom Hardy, silly cunt. Ed Hardy's a range of crap t-shirts. All right, Patrick. Right. Let's have a look. What else was there? Nathan Sharp, what is your opinion on bulking? I'm going to have to have a drink, you know. What is your opinion on bulking and cutting when in late teenage years, early 20s? Should you make the most of your body still growing and just lift heavy and eat in a surplus? Well, again, this all comes down to what you actually are trying to do. If you want to bulk up, then just fucking go for it. But just because you're young doesn't mean you're not going to get fat if you take the piss. I mean, when I was in my early 20s, I got really fucking fat because I used to be proper smashing food in and beer in all the time. So it's like, and I trained a lot as well at that time. I was only doing like a pro split, you know, but I got quite strong. Nowhere near like I am now, but, and you know, it's like, if I could have gone back and done what I'm done now, I'd probably be in much better shape now. It comes down to what you want to do. If you want to be lean and look in shape and actually look like you lift, then you need to be doing it slowly, you know, going for that lean bulk, taking it easy. If you take the piss and just YOLO it, you're still going to get fat. It doesn't matter how old you are, it's still going to happen, you know. So it's all comes down to what you're comfortable with. I don't have a problem with doing like a bulk and then a cut, bulk, cut. That's just how I've done it, and that's how I don't mind doing it. I tried to do the lean bulk thing, but I found that I couldn't control myself to keep on them low calories, you know, and do it slowly. I just end up binging because that's how I am. So it all comes down to what you are trying to achieve. Go at it. Age will be on your side, so just make it work to your advantage. Oh dear. Mr. Mealy asked me what are my thoughts on the American government funding ISIS and the beheadings being faked. You know, it's like, what one thing the media shows you is only the same as what all these propaganda sites show you. They're both as bad as each other. It's only a case of this person said this thing, that person said this thing. To me, I just don't bother. I know it's probably an arsehole way of looking at it, saying the things that affect me, you know, directly, so I just aren't interested. I know it's an arsehole thing to say, but that is honestly my stance on it. I just think, whatever. I know there's some seriously bad shit going on out there, and it'd be great if it could all stop, but what the fuck am I going to do about it? So I don't concern myself with it and get too balls deep, because otherwise you just end up, well, you know, you just get fucking proper rinned in there, don't you? Okay, so the question just popped in from Ben Campbell. Advice for someone who wants to get big and strong, but also needs to run lots to prepare for going into the RAF. Well, there's no reason why you can't get big and strong and also keep running. It all comes down to taking in your calories. At the end of the day, if you want to get big and strong, you're going to have to be training with your heavy compounds. You need to be training for powerlifting, eating for powerlifting, but also you need to be keeping on top of your running as well. So you want to be factoring in regular 5Ks, 10Ks, you know, building up to that endurance. You're going to need to do a lot of stretching and a lot of soft tissue work, more than likely. For myself, I know that if I go for a run, everything just cramps up and gets really tight, and you have to really be on point with your stretching. Problem is when you go doing long distance running, you end up getting really tight, you know, tight muscles and that. So when you come to say squat or deadlift, you might find that your range of motion's gone to shit because of the running. But that's only generally if you don't keep on top of your, like you say, your stretching, your soft tissue work. So there's no reason why you can't do that. So that's really what you need to be doing. Train for powerlifting, eat for powerlifting, go on regular 5 and 10Ks, build your stamina up. I don't know if you've done running before or if you've ever been into running. When I used to box, I used to do regular 6-mile runs. I used to do train boxing on a Monday, boxing on a Wednesday, boxing on a Friday, and I used to run Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, Saturday I used to take it off. What's up, SMFG? How's it going? But yeah, as I was saying, Ben, that's what you need to be doing. Build it up steady, don't go in too hard, otherwise you'll end up flagging and fucking yourself up. Right, what's next? Next. Euphoric state. Do you have any bad habits that interrupt your training? Example, smoking or alcohol. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'd say I don't really have any bad habits that interrupt my training. I don't smoke, believe it or not. I enjoy cigars. I haven't had a cigar now for, I don't know what, over a month. It's just too cold. It doesn't bother me. When the summer comes, I'll probably start hammering them again because that's when I like having them. But I don't smoke. You know, I don't like smoking at all, to be honest. Alcohol is probably the worst thing for me because I am a bit of a pisshead, to be honest. I regularly drink a beer every night, usually. Not always. I'm not like a full-on alky, but you know, I just enjoy having a nice beer. I'm not one to sit and open up an 8-pack of Carling and get wrecked, but I'll enjoy like a nice craft beer. But that's more enjoyment for the beer itself, not the getting pissed. The only time that really interrupts my training is when I get that wasted that the next day I'll be just so rough that I can't do anything. Like if it's a light day the next day, I'll probably just get on with it and do it. But say if I'd have gone out on Thursday night and got plastered, and then yesterday I was doing the 175 triples on squats, I wouldn't have even tried because I know it'd be horrible and you're more prone to getting injured, you know, because your body's not in the best of shape. So yeah, I'd probably say it's getting pissed up that causes the biggest problems for me. I'm fucking dying. Do you ever have days where you can't be bothered to train? Yeah. And how do you get yourself doing it anyway? Like everyone, I mean, everybody's going to have days where they can't be arsed. But this is where it comes down to the dedication part of things. You know, I wrote that blog on my website a few weeks ago about like the basics of progression. And one of the things I put in there is the dedication part. Dedication isn't the same as motivation. Dedication is committing to something and making sure you get it done, you know, regardless of the circumstances. Motivation is just sort of like firing yourself up as to why you want to do something. You need the dedication in order to achieve what you want through motivation. You know, it's like people always say, you just got to want it hard enough. You don't. You need to really put the fucking effort in to make it happen, because wanting it is never going to just get it. You know, you're never going to achieve anything just by wanting it. You know, I want a big house, millions in the bank, and a fucking fleet of Ferraris, but I ain't going to get that unless I go out and fucking work for it. You know, so it puts it into perspective like that. For me, when I really can't be bothered to train, you know, I'll slap myself and say to myself, think about that period last year where I was really suffering with my back and my leg. You know, I was in a lot of pain every day and I couldn't train. It's like and my shoulder used to hurt, so it was like literally I couldn't do anything. And I was so depressed then, because it's I'd gone from being in really good shape, so I started slowly creeping back to being out of shape again. And it's all because of those injuries and because I let myself just flag away. So I'll think to myself, if I can't be bothered, I think that time when you couldn't train, all you wanted more than anything else was to be able to train. And now that you can train and you're coming up with some lazy shit of, oh, I don't want to train. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I usually do. I usually tell myself, you didn't used to be able to and now you can, so get on with it. Last question from Euphoric State. What training method have you seen the most results with? Example, pause, reps, drop sets, doubles, triples, supersets. So like training sort of like a technique sort of thing rather than a program. To be honest, I think I'm going to say using bands for deadlifts. Ever since I started using them bands, Jesus Christ, my deadlift flew up. Yeah, you've seen it yourself if you watch the Ed Cohen videos. I started using bands, my lockout just went through the roof. Wasn't even an issue anymore. Once I got that weight past my knees, it was up, and it moved fast. It was like my lockout has become very strong. Off the floor, I'm not too bad. It's just below the knee where I struggle. That's why I started doing them balls deadlifts, and they seem to really help as well. But I think using bands is probably the best method in respect to developing something. So yeah. Do I do HIIT, high intensity interval training? Yes, I do, to be honest. I do it usually on my bag with, I'll do like, I usually do about 30-second 1-2s as fast as you can, no power, just really fast, and then followed by a 15-second rest, and then I'll drop into another 30 seconds 1-2s, and I'll just go on for as many rounds as I can. I've also started doing, don't laugh, started doing some kettlebell complexes, again same sort of principle, like 30-second rounds, 15-second rest, and it's just really just to keep my fitness up, to be honest. And obviously I would like to start doing a bit more activity to try and just increase my overall calorie expenditure, so I start losing a bit of weight, because I just really don't want to start. I don't want to eat less. I'm fed up of doing that. Oh, squeaked a little one up there. Right. John Miller asked, have you ever been in a fight? If so, who won? Well, I've been in a couple of scuffles when I've been out in town, so I've usually been trying to break it up more than anything else. So I'm not really into fighting at all. I used to box when I was younger. I had 2 fights, I lost them both. I'll give you an insider story on that one. The first fight I had, I was really cocky, and to be honest, I had no experience really. I didn't really know what I should have been doing, and I had this fight. Oh God, my thighs are cramping up. So I had this fight. The first fight, came out real cocky, thinking I was ace. Fighting with this kid, same sort of build as me, and came out dancing about a bit, and he tried to get me and missed a few times, and I came in with I sort of went under his jab, and I followed through with a fucking massive left hook, and it was just like a massive crack, a really big solid bang. This kid was absolutely out on his feet, fucking reeling there, but everybody in the audience was like, oh, like that, and I got really excited, and I didn't know what to do. I should have followed it up and knocked him out, but I just sort of froze and was like, oh my God, I've just proper hit this kid, fucking get in there. And like I say, in experience, I didn't know what to do. And after that, he started hitting me low, and he got me in the balls first time round. So I went down, got up, adjusted myself. Referee was like, are you all right? I said, yeah. Come on again. Same sort of thing happened. Caught me again, low blow. Proper, really full pelt to the nads. Went down again. And before I knew it, I stood up. I got told to go to the corner. And my coach, he took off my headset, my head guard. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? He said, oh, that's it, it's over. You've been counted out. And I thought, are you fucking joking? So I got really pissed off. I said, there was a low blow in me. And I turned around to the referee. I was like, are you fucking blind? Going, and he said to me, don't you speak to me like that, young man. So that's what it was like. So I go over to shake this kid's hand, and I just grabbed his hand, and I said to him something along the lines of, I'm going to fucking kill you next time when we have our rematch. And he knew what he'd done. So I was really pissed off. Anyway, I never got my rematch. I ended up having a fight with this other kid. And what's I doing? I ended up having this fight with this other kid, and he was really tall for our weight, because I used to box welterweight. Oh, was it like welterweight? 140 pound, and he was really tall, really fast. I couldn't hit him, but he was catching me with jabs and that. He just had no power at all, like no power. And I knew full well that he was never going to knock me out. But it was around about that time I'd started like going out on the piss, you know, and my heart wasn't really in it anymore. And I started thinking, you know, I can't be arsed for this. And I sort of spat my dummy out because I kept trying to catch him, and I couldn't hit him to save my life because he was just too fast and too tall. So I really spat my dummy out. So I thought, what I'm going to do, next time this fucker catches me with a shot, a convincing shot, I'm just going to stagger back. I'm going to go down. And that's what I did. I let him catch me, and I went back to the corner. I just dropped myself to the floor and pretended to get knocked out. It's one of the biggest things I regret in my life. You absolutely, really, really, really wish I could go back and change that. It's like you can never do anything about it now, and it really is something I massively regret doing that. Knowing what I know now, obviously, I should have challenged him, moved forward, should have used my size to my advantage, got him into the corners, you know, worked his body. But I didn't think back then, and my heart wasn't in it. Like I say, I lost my discipline and I spat my dummy out. And that was that, and I've never boxed since then. I never went back, and that was it. And like I say, it's one of the biggest things I regret. But fuck me, there you go, you just had a world's biggest regret. John Miller also asked, what do you do for a living? As I mentioned earlier, I'm a mobile service engineer. We work on CHP plants and biogas. So there you go. John says your channel's been going for quite a long time, but what made you start training at home in the first place? I covered this in an older video where I said that one of the reasons why I wanted to start training at home was because when I started training properly and following a routine, I found that if I went to the gym at like say peak time, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, there'd be too many people there, and basically you'd never be able to get on the right equipment. You always used to wait for somebody else so you could do whatever you was trying to do. And I found that you end up like sacrificing your routine because of other people. So I started going really early at like 5 o'clock in the morning because it was a 24-hour gym, and that was great. But when we moved home, we made sure that I got a house with a garage, because I'd already told myself that I didn't want to have to drive nearly 30 minutes to the gym every morning to train, to come home for another 30 minutes. It just put so much time on your day. So I'd already decided that training at home was the way to go. And like I said, I've never looked back. It's been one of the best decisions I've ever made, training-wise. Acting Advice has asked, what was the best change you made to your training to make the biggest improvements to your big three lifts? I think the best change I made was actually switching to a specific powerlifting routine and actually focusing on getting stronger rather than caring so much about physical appearance. Obviously, I still try to keep myself some way in shape. I don't want to be a big, like, full-on fat cunt, but actually focusing on the strength side of things rather than, training for how I look or aesthetics or whatever you want to call it. That made the biggest difference. So instead of like basing a routine around just sheer volume, basing it around that lift and focusing on the weaknesses of that lift, that's what helped. So before, like, a chest routine would have been like start with some bench, then do dumbbell bench, then do incline dumbbell, then do some flies, then do some triceps, dips, loads of different chest routines or chest exercises that never really benefited me in sense of getting stronger. They were just more just for doing work. So by changing that and doing, let's say for the squat, the main set I would do back squats, and then I would factor in some pause squats or maybe some front squats, depending on where I'm struggling. And I found that that is what benefited me the most. Billy, ice Scott, chicken or beef? I'd say beef for taste and flavour, but chicken's just so versatile. You can sort of have it with anything. But I think I'm gonna go with beef. Beef's where it's at. Oh God, I'm dying. Right, what was I saying? Does it matter, SMFJ fitness, does it matter how you do HIIT? I mean, you can do it in so many different ways. For example, when you do it with boxing, does it affect your arm workout? Well, if you're going to do it, all depends again on what your goals are. Probably the best way to do interval training is specific to what you're trying to achieve. You know, so they always say that, like, sprints is one of the best things you can do for squatting. You know, it builds explosive power in your legs, so that if you wanted to do that, that would benefit your squat. You know, I don't really do it really to benefit anything. I just do it just so that I don't get too out of breath all the time, like I am now. You know, it's like I'm only 5'8", and I got weighed this morning. I'm 205 pounds. It's like, it's fucking hard work. You know, it's like, oh, God. So it's better to just try and keep fit. So I don't really aim to be specific in it. But if you was to target it to what you're doing, it probably will benefit you. Yes, the boxing can affect your arm workout, but you've got to think that you're not really doing anything that, you know, it's high intensity, but that's from like a cardiovascular point of view. It's not really going to attack your muscles. You're not really putting any resistance on them. They're not getting under load or anything like that. So like punching a bag like that, 1 2 1 2 really fast, next day my arms are fine. I haven't hammered them with weight, so it doesn't really affect me in any way, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't overthink that one too much and think that if you do something it's going to ruin your training. The only time, say, interval training or cardio is going to really affect your training is if you're doing an absolute fuck ton of it, you're not stretching, you're not resting, and you're not eating enough to recover. So by the time you come around to do your training, you're fucked. You know, that's the only time it's really going to affect you. Oh, fuck me. How many times a week do you do cardio? Generally just try to get in a little bit during the week, 2 or 3 times. I'll probably increase that a bit more soon because I'm trying to lose a bit of weight. And like I've said before, I don't really want to drop my food down. Dropping the food down is the most effective way of doing it, if you ask me. It's a lot easier to control intake than it is to control expenditure. But I just like eating. I'm not trying to get super lean or low body fat or anything. I'm just trying to be a little bit more healthy from a heart point of view. What else we got here then? Blue Blood asked, on a scale of 1 to 10, how mint is it being a northerner? Well, I'm gonna have to go to 11 there. It's pretty fucking ace being a northerner. Sorry, southerners, but ain't nowhere you want to be a southern shandy drinking fairy. So any more. Okay. Alex Pisani asks, I know you did keto, assuming you are now off of it, so a couple of questions surrounding that. How long were you in keto, and what was the weight loss over that time? We'll have to think here. If I remember right, when I first started looking to lose chub, when I first started, I was, like I said, I was just over 17 stone, about 230 pounds, and I just started going to the gym and just training. I started like training properly in about May time, and then I'm sure it was around that time that I discovered keto on the bodybuilding.com nutritional MISC forum, and I'm sure I did it for like, let me think, 4, 8, 12. I'm sure it was 16 weeks I did it for. 16 weeks on keto. I think after 8 weeks I had like a little bit of a carb binge, and then I went back onto it, and I stayed, and like I really did keep it up. And in that time, I'm sure it was 217 pounds that I started at when I did keto. I'd already lost a stone just through training. I started keto and I ended up like about 180 odd pounds or something like that. And so I lost like nearly 30 odd pounds just from doing keto. Now, obviously it's because I was in a calorie deficit. I know that. I don't think there's any real benefit to doing keto over just a normal calorie control, macronutrient partitioning personally. So I mean, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend any diet where you remove food groups from your intake. I think it's just unnecessary. The best thing about keto I found was you stay quite full, to be honest. And I was never really hungry when I did keto, I have to admit. I was eating a lot of meats, a lot of fat, and obviously I was getting in the green veggies that you're allowed. When you transitioned off keto, how did you do it? And what were the effects? I'm trying to remember really. I mean, this was a long time ago. We're talking like 4 years ago, I think. When I came off keto, I'm pretty certain I just sort of like went straight bang right into the carbs. I think I started feeding them in slowly, like 50 at first, then 100, and I just went from there. And then I never really went back into it. It was around about the time that I discovered that carbs were not the enemy. You know, I always thought that carbs were the reason for fat gain, because that's what everybody tells you. And then you start reading up on it, and I just started doing. I started bulking again with carbs, and then after I'd finished that bulk, I decided to diet whilst keeping carbs high. I ended up looking great, you know. So carbs for the win, man. Yeah. Michael Clark has asked, do you have any fitness role models? Someone you want to be as fit, strong as realistically? To be honest, not really. I just sort of do it for myself. It's good to look up to people, I guess, but I think if you do look up to certain people, you can often put yourself down because you think, well, I'll never get like that. Or if you don't get to where you want to be quick enough, you might start thinking that you'll never be that good. So what's the point? I mean, it'd be great to be really strong like some of them, but I'm just trying to be as strong as I can be, you know, just trying to do it for me. So not really. I don't really have any fitness role models. Not realistically, anyway. I mean, if I could be Dan Green tomorrow, fuck me. Yeah, buddy, I'd have some of that. Ben Campbell has asked, are you watching the Six Nations? Probably not, to be honest. Not really that bothered about watching sports, to be fair. Never have been. If it's on telly and I'm sat in the room, I will probably sit and watch it, but I won't go out my way to put it on. You know, it's not really that interested. So yeah, there you go. How long have I been doing this now? I don't think there's any more questions to answer on the page. Where is the? Let's have a quick look. If you don't get any more questions to answer on here, then that'll probably be that. Oops, one thing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, dear me. Nope, I think that is it. So yeah, thank God for that. All done. And there you go. How long has it been up? What time is it now? 55 minutes. So yeah, that's pretty much it really. I think I've answered everybody's questions. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh, I am dying. Nope, that must be it. Right. Oh no, it's not. There's a question. Andrew Kretsch. Oh. Is it weird to see a massive difference in form strength when going from using no belt whatsoever to using an Inza leather 13mm belt? At the end of the day, everybody is stronger when they're wearing a belt. So yeah, basically, if you've never used a belt before, you're going to be a lot tighter. You're going to be able to lift more weight. If your form is breaking down whilst you're wearing that belt, you're just sort of using the belt as a, you know, like a Superman bubble. It doesn't, wearing a belt won't inherently make you ridiculously more stronger, but it might help you keep, you know, tighter so that your technique's better. Therefore, your lift is usually going to be better. So if you've gone from being completely raw, no belt, no nothing, to starting to wear a little bit of equipment, then yeah, you're going to see a benefit. So just keep an eye on yourself. Make sure you're not overreaching. You know, if you are taking the piss just because you think you're going to be safe because you're wearing a belt, you might end up giving yourself a little bit of an accident. Billy I. Scott, my favourite pre-workout supplement at the moment is fuck all. I've literally not been using any pre-workouts. I used to be really into them before. Always used to have a pre-workout before I trained. If I didn't have a pre-workout before I trained, I'd have a bad session. That was all mental, obviously. I've stopped using them. Ever since I stopped using them, I sleep better and I recover better. Yeah, I found that pre-workouts were really affecting my sleep, and it was never, it wasn't doing me any good. So yeah, nothing really. Coffee usually. I probably have like a little cup of espresso, and that's about it. So yeah. Oh, thank God. I'm going to call it a day. I think that's an hour. It's about an hour. I'm fucked. That'll do. So thank you all for watching. It's been a good laugh. I've hopefully answered all your questions as good as I can. So there you go. Thanks again. It's been emotional. Cheers now. See you later.